Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Welcome to the segment of Coach Gurbani's a-sabad-a-day. We continue with our recitation from Bhavanakri, or the 52 letters composed by Guru Arjan. And the recitation first. Slok Binau Sunahu Tum Parbraham, Deen Dayal Gopal, Sukh Sampeh Bhog Ras, Nanak a-sabad-a-day. Pauri Babba Brahm Janat Te Brahma, Baisno Te Gurmukh Sach Dharma, Bira Apan Bura Mitave, Tahu Bura Nikat Nahi Aave, Badeo Apan Hau Banda, दोष देत आग्रह को अंधा, बातचीत सब रही सियाणप, जिसे जनावो सो जाने नानक. Binau Sunahu Tum Parbraham. Nanak here is appealing to the Parbrahm, who is Deen, who is Dayal, and who is Gopal. Those are the attributes that have been listed here of the Parbrahm, the Creator, who is merciful, the protector of the hapless. Binau Sunahu Tum Parbraham, Deen Dayal Gopal. And what is the prayer? What is the appeal? The appeal is, place me under the guidance of the accomplished master or the good enlightener, so that I can experience life with joy. Well, that's about everybody's desire, to be able to live this life with enjoyment and joy and happiness. And that is what the Guru is articulating for us. Sukh Sampeh Bhog Ras, experiencing the joys of life. Nanak a-sabad-a-day. But the Guru is asking for the guidance of the good enlightener in order for that to happen. So that is the instruction to us, that if you wish to live and experience life as joyful, then you need to be guided by the good enlightener, because that is where and that is how you will learn how to have that experience. And this argument, this thought process is expanded in the Pauri. And the letter that we are considering is Babba, from which the word Brahm, the principle of creation that exists in us as the self. So Parbrahm is the all-power creator at the macro level. Brahm is the same idea that exists as an individual in us, individually rather. But it is the same universal principle. We are simply experiencing a slice of that universal creative force, and we are appealing to the universal creative force to connect us to the source, which is through the Gur. Because unless we connect to the source of all creativity, our lives will not be filled with joy. In other words, we will not be creative. So that is really the question here, and the Guru instructs us on how to get there. So he begins by saying, Babba Brahman Janat Te Brahma, realizing that the same creative principle runs through the universe is the mark of the learned and wise. Now we know that the word Brahma in Gurbani is generally used to symbolize the egoic mind. That is the mind of an ordinary. The mind is Brahma. And Brahm, without the extended A, signifies the self. the self within, which is not embodied, but which is connected to the transcendent, to the transcendental self. So, but it is here being used to denote the state that changes when one realizes that the same creative principle runs through the universe and that it runs through me as Brahm. That is the mark of a Brahman, Brahma. Here, Brahma for Brahman. So you see, the two words are very similar, but one indicates the embodied body and the mind, and the other is the aspect of the mind that is not hooked to the ego. So to become learned and wise, Brahman, which is the common explanation of the word Brahman, or to say that self-realized, you have to realize that creative principle. That's the first instruction. And the second is the Guru points to those who call themselves Vaishnavites, Vaishno. Vaishno te Gurumukha Sacha Dharma, true religion. Such Dharma. Dharma and religion should not really be equated. They're not symmetrical terms, but force of habit and force of ideas, that's how we use them. The idea is, what shall your actions be? Dharma is conduct. And that conduct includes not only your actions, but the intent behind them as well. So, Vaishno te Gurumukha Sacha Dharma. So what the Guru is saying, here's what a Brahmin looks like. He's self-realized. Here's what a Vaishnavite. He's pointing to the different sects, the different schools of thoughts, different philosophies that prevailed in India. So you see, the Brahmin is self-realized. The Vaishno follows the true dharma, but that dharma is not possible without Guru wisdom. And then there are those who are so-called spiritual warriors, Dira Appan Bura Mitave, those who actually fight with their inner demons. That is a true warrior. Tahu Bura Nikatana Ave, then you can escape the defects. But what happens is, Badyo Appan Hao Banda. See, that is the problem. The ignorant, that is all of us, are trapped in the ego. Our self is trapped in the ego, and we end up in constant finger pointing. How banda badyo apan dos det aage, the one that is in front of you. You're constantly blaming the other. And the Guru says, Baat cheet sab rahi. No amount of argumentation, no amount of picking on each other, disputations of dogma, beliefs, will bring you wisdom. And those who realize the self know that experience. Jise janaave, so jane nanak. So this passage is instructing us on how to get from the path of self-gratification to self-realization. Because you see, what he's saying is, we are ignorant. Our understanding and experience of the world is conditioned and distorted by the ego, because it has its prejudices, memories, desires. This is all conditioning, and it distorts reality. And so we are always in that me-them mode. And that's the paradigm of the ego. It's a constructed worldview. But in order to be self-realized, we have to learn that one creative impulse runs through the entire universe. In other words, what it means for us is to recognize our mutual dependency. If that same creative principle is running across everything, then we are all mutually dependent. And we have to act accordingly, which means we have to act with wisdom and empathy towards others. That's a skill, or that's an emotion, or that is an emotion that we have to develop. So you have to recognize first that there is one creative potency that informs the entire universe. You need good wisdom to recognize that, but also to conduct your affairs in the world as a true devotee, meaning giving up your ego's thoughts, prejudices, and so on, and adopting good wisdom. And 3, a constant battle with the demons so that you kill them and develop virtue in that place, in their place. On that note, Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh.